morning. If you're settled in, you can join us in this next song. If you're not, that's okay. We're calling this enhanced background music. We're choosing heaven today. There we go. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Let's choose love. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I choose compassion today. Back to heaven, yeah. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Yes, I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Very good, very good. All right, here we go, right on into our next one. Please rise. This is our official start. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek.
Rise even
And
more.
we're going to rise up singing. Here we go.
Gonna rise up singing, bringing in the day. My feet are dancing in every way. You're invited to stay, to pray, to play. I am, you are, we are here today.
Gonna rise up laughing, bringing in the day. My feet are dancing in every way. You're invited to stay, to pray, to play. I am, we are here today. Up we go. Gonna rise up loving, bringing in the day. My feet are dancing. You can dance a little bit. In every way, you're invited to stay, to pray, to play. I am, you are, we are here today. Rise up loving, bringing in the day. My feet are dancing. In every way, you're invited to stay, to pray, to play. I am, you are, we are here today. I am. Yes, I am. You are. We are here today. Great job. Have a seat.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. Someone said my name. Thanks for knowing me. I appreciate it. And for those who don't know me, my name is Ron. I'm a licensed Unity teacher here at Unity of Walnut Creek, or as I like to say, Unity of Welcome Creek. So anyways, thank you for being here. And so if you please turn with me and welcome our brothers and sisters online. Thank you very much for being here. Welcome. Please know that you are an important part of our spiritual community. So thank you for being here. If you please check your cell phones, anything that ring, dings, or bings. So we'll have a beautiful service. Let's thank our musicians. Tyler and Annie, thank you very much. And over there in the corner, the boys in the band, we got Scott and Max and David with his Giants colors. Go, bro. Yeah. And that used to hurt. Anyways, it says that we have a special guest musician. We really don't. He's been here long enough, he's family. So this is Adon who's going to sing for us today. Here at Unity, we know that Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And Unity of Walnut Creek and Unity Worldwide does it through this mission. And this mission is, in loving community, we empower spiritual growth by modeling and teaching universal spiritual principles. Yeah? Yes. Great. So we're going to claim that. We're going to claim that with our affirmation we say every Sunday. And before we do that, we're going to take a deep breath and just open up your heart and then say thank you. And then we'll say our statement of faith. So let's take a deep breath. Then exhale and say thank you. And let's say our affirmation together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Yeah, just let that soak in a little bit and know it to be true. So we like to welcome our newcomers. If you are here for the first time with us in our community, thank you for being here. Your presence is well received and very important to us. And if you feel comfortable enough, we have a welcome packet and a handmade wooden necklace, thank you, for you. And if you feel comfortable enough, if you raise your hand so we know you're new, and we'll bring that packet around to you. Great, thank you. Thank you for being brave. And if you are new and you don't feel comfortable raising your hand, we have the packet out on our welcome table across the courtyard and with the necklace. So thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And in the back of your seat in front of you, we have what we call connection cards. And on those cards, you can write a prayer request. And our prayer chaplains and our staff will be praying for that prayer request this next week. And you can also write comments about the service or anything else about our center. And we will look at those and take those into our hearts. So if you feel like writing something, please do. We would appreciate it. So guess what time it is? It's huggy time. So please stand up and greet your neighbor in any manner you choose. Good morning.
Oh, what a loving group of people we have here today. I hope you new people didn't get scared by all the hugs. Good. Did the gong go off or did I just start talking? Did it? Both. I didn't hear the gong. So next time the gong needs to be a little bit louder. Did you guys hear the gong? Okay. Well, good morning. My name is Linda Stevens, and it's my joy to bring a few things that are going on here at Unity to your attention. Our spiritual learning classes will continue through August the 18th. We have 2 great classes that are available on a drop-in basis. Take your health into your own hands and feel happier and healthier and more alive in just minutes a day. Trey Boxer is teaching self-care with Touch for Health and acupressure on Monday evenings right here at Unity. On Tuesday evenings, Move beyond working on your stuff, which a lot of us have done, to learn to cut through. And Pam Austin will be here to show you how to live in balance with the cut-through process using heart math techniques. All experiences are welcome. Looking for a one-stop shop to give yourself a summary of many of the heart math tools? Join CL on Saturday, August 5th for a workshop to learn how and when to effectively use many of the heart math techniques. Now, in October, what's the funnest thing that we do at Unity? With the Summer of Love, we have our fundraiser. And so mark your calendar for October 28th. Feel the love, share the love, and be the love when we reconnect to flower power and groovy vibes at Unity's fall fundraiser, the Summer of Love. Now, I would like to invite Tyler to the platform.
Come on, Tyler. Happen to be right here. Morning, everybody. So we just want more music, don't we, right? Music is awesome. And our summer concert series is continuing. I hope many of you were able to join us for Jamie Lula last month. Now we've got a really great treat. How many folks remember Charlie Thweet, who has come here and sung a number of times? So we're very lucky not only to have Charlie to do Sunday services next Sunday, but then he's going to stay and do a concert at 2 o'clock, and it's going to be fabulous. Charlie has an angelic voice. He has beautiful spirit-filled songs, and he really connects with the audience. So it's going to be a beautiful event. And what we're going to do is have a potluck lunch, so you can just come to this service and then stay for lunch and enjoy the concert after. It's a 2 o'clock concert. So bring a potluck dish next Sunday. This is your official notice to look through your recipe cards and get something ready. And we'll go over in the community room, enjoy the potluck, and then we'll come back here. 2 o'clock, July 30th, next week, for Charlie Thweet. We'll see you there.
I really do encourage you guys to be here next Sunday. Charlie has been one of the Unity people that's gone around the world singing and playing for people, and he is wonderful. So be sure to be here. Now, find out more about these and other activities online and in today's bulletin. And now, Reverend Kristen, would you please come up?
Thank you. So I would like to invite forward Patricia DeMichelle. So I don't know if you all know about this amazing woman, but she has been serving as a ministerial assistant at our church here for 11 years. And I am especially personally grateful because when Reverend David said, "I'm retiring," Patricia said, "Oh, me too. It's time." And everybody begged her to stay because we really needed her through the transition. And so, Patricia, we are not only so grateful for your 11 years of service, but I am personally very grateful for these last 10 months that you've agreed to stay on. And I tell you, every day it's like I walk in and say, "Good morning, Patricia, I have some questions for you." And it's pretty much like that, and she has answers. So that's the way to go. So we are so grateful. And Lisa Nichols, on behalf of the board, is that me making all those crunchy noises? All right, well, yeah, let's do the handheld. Let's
Off with that. On with this one, much better. So Lisa Nichols, on behalf of the board and other board members who are present, Lisa's welcoming you up. Please do come so that Lisa can say a few words and tell you about how much the board appreciates you.
Javier asked if he could give you the flowers because he loves you so much. It is my hold on, he's not done. It's my privilege to thank Patricia on behalf of the board and all of the boards who have come before me over the last 11 years. Can you count the events and the everything that's happened here? We do 52 Sunday services, but we also do tons of classes and fundraisers and everything else, and it just works so smoothly and so easily thanks to Patricia. And think of all the hearts that she's prayed with over the years, and just, you know, the confidentiality that she has held with this job that is so important to the health of our community, and all of the ways that she has shown her care and her love and her big heart. And it's just really my privilege to thank her on behalf of the board. Thank you so much, Patricia.
So we'd like to also bless. Oh, by the way, the board gifted Patricia. If you haven't opened your gift yet, I'm going to ruin the surprise. With a large chunk of change toward multiple massages. So, with your favorite massage therapist, by the way. So we thought that was very appropriate after all the good work that she's done for us. So let's bless Patricia, and there's a blessing coming up on your screen. Patricia, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine in you. Thank you for your dedicated service to this community, to our community, excuse me. And there's more, because Patricia has also been training our new ministerial assistant, Felicia McBarton, and I want to invite Felicia forward. So we had a large pool of really qualified candidates, and this was quite a process. And Felicia came in truly with some divinely inspired processes that came forward for her and in revealing this position for her. And then as she shared with me her rich experiences and her background and her education and her desire, it became really clear that that Spirit was opening the door for her to be our next ministerial assistant. Is there anything you want to share with us?
I would just like to say hello. I'm really looking forward to bringing my background and serving really each and every single one of you here. That's going to be part of my role, is to support you, to support all the ministries here at the church, and to really support Reverend Kristen. She's got some great visions, so I'm here to give her lots of enthusiasm and support. So I'm really looking forward to being here as your ministerial assistant.
All right.
It's really been my honor to be here for the last 11 years. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I will be part of your volunteer team here now. So I am not leaving my spiritual home. I will be here for you.
That's the best kind of goodbye to somebody you love, when they say, I'm really not leaving, right? So we want to bless both of these wonderful women, these powerhouses, and really anchors in our community with a song, You Are a Blessing to the World. Let's sing.
Join us if you know this one. Blessing to the World. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world. So true.
So we're going to make a decision for love right now. I hope you'll all join me. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision, and no one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision, and no one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now. Give yourselves a hand.
Thank you, Andoni and friends. So Bobby is our prayer chaplain today, and she's going to begin our time of meditation with this community prayer.
Good morning. Our talk today is on forgiveness. And I was a speech pathologist for 30 years in a school district, and I used to love to play with words and figure out the meanings and the derivation. And to me, forgiveness became something that was a gift that I gave to someone for something that happened. And the gift was to make it as if it had never happened. So it was before this word was said, before this event ever happened, we're going back in time. And everything's as if before. So it's my gift that I give to the person and to myself so that nothing has changed. In forgiving, I find peace. If I find myself upset or hurt by something another person did or said to me, I may feel justified in holding on to resentment. In that moment, I have a choice to make. Do I perpetuate the injustice by remaining unforgiving? Or do I let Spirit work through me and choose to forgive, thus bringing healing energy into the situation? Forgiveness is a simple yet profound act that frees me to move forward. I do not condone the harmful action of another, but still I can find it in my heart to forgive and release the situation. Forgiveness is an expression of God's love through me. With forgiveness, I am able to look for and find the good in others, to feel the good in myself. In forgiving, I find peace. Whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone. Mark 11:25.
Forgive me
forgive me. Everything I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I forgive you. I forgive you. Everything I have been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything I have been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I forgive you. I forgive you. Everything I have been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change.
So, in that spirit of change, we come to the God of our being with a willingness to let go, to forgive what up until now has not been forgiven, and to allow Spirit to be in charge of the process. So I invite you in your open heart to allow the image of somebody who you've left out of your heart to appear there now. You may be surprised by who comes. Trust that. Trust Spirit. And as you behold this individual, it may help you to see them as a child. With that image, your innocence connects with their innocence. Something natural and playful emerges. Maybe even a willingness to see the humor. In all the antics that go into separating us from one another. And as you behold this individual within your heart, recognize as you're looking at them as if you're looking at a reflection in the mirror of yourself. Just one more face of God, looking at another face of God. recognizing that this person has the same desires and needs that you do for prosperity in every way, for health, for fulfillment and ease in life, for joy and peace. And whatever unskillful behaviors may have happened before, we let that go now. Seeing only with the eyes of love and its close cousin, forgiveness. As we enter our silent time, I invite you to continue with this practice with this individual. Or if you feel complete, letting this image dissolve and see if there's yet another that would like to emerge. Or to simply commune in a few moments of silence together in the silence. And so we give thanks for all the teachers on our path. For all the growth that is offered to us. And for our own willingness to forgive. And allow the goodness of God, the prosperity of love and energy, health and wealth to flow freely through us, unencumbered once again. And so it is. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. Join me if you like. I'm ready for my change.
Okay. You can't have a change without getting to the heart of the matter, right?
Yeah.
We can do that. this all together. These times are so uncertain. There's a yearning undefined, people filled with rage. We all need a little tenderness. How can love survive in such a graceless age? The trust and self-assurance that leads to happiness, they're the very things we kill, I guess. Pride and competition cannot fill these empty arms, and the work we put between us, you know it doesn't keep me warm. And I'm finding the power within me now, but it's hard sometimes. The more I know, the less I understand. All the things I thought I figured out, I have to learn again. And I'm trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but everything changes, and my friends seem to scatter. But I think it's about forgiveness, forgiveness. And now it's time to love myself even more. There are people in my life who've come and gone. You know they let me down, and they've hurt my pride. I better put it all behind me, 'cause life goes on. If I keep carrying that anger, it's gonna eat me up inside. And I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak, and my thoughts seem to scatter. But I think it's about forgiveness, forgiveness. And now it's time for me to love me. And I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, because the flesh will get weak and the ashes will scatter. So I'm thinking about forgiveness, forgiveness. And now it's time to love myself. Forgiveness, 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 forgiveness. And now it's time to love each other evermore. Thank you. All right. Let's hear it for the band.
Wow. That was fabulous. Thank you. What musical talent we have here, huh? Yeah. Fun, fun, fun. Whew. Anybody know what our theme is today? That is a good sign of a music team that knows how to hit the theme. Thank you. Thank you for the selections. Fabulous. So, forgiveness, it all starts with the hurt, right? We hurt someone or somebody hurts us. And the way I see it, we have basically two choices of how to respond. We can choose forgiveness, which we all know is the road we're talking about. It's the prosperous choice. We're in a prosperity series right now. This is our third week. I hope you enjoyed Reverend Catherine last week. I loved her story about the pigs, the 3 pigs. The series is called The 4 Pillars of Prosperity Built on a Foundation of Faith. So just to catch some of you up, the first week we combined the foundation of faith and the very first pillar, vision. And then Catherine just talked about her own views on prosperity. And now we're back to pillar number 2. And pillar number 2, obviously, is forgiveness. So that first choice when we're hurt or we hurt someone else is to forgive. And the other choice is to retaliate. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Because retaliation can be a pretty wide swath continuum of different ways that we retaliate. We might think of retaliation as when, we retaliate in violence, but violence can be a lot of things. It doesn't have to just be physical, right? It can be psychological, it can be emotional. And part of what we do when we withhold our love from one another is that we side on the side of separation. We're certainly not walking the path of divinity when we're in those places. And yet we also are human beings, right? With tender, sometimes feelings. And that's okay too. Because forgiveness is a process. And so that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today, is that process. One of the things we do when we choose retaliation is it's out of this idea of punishing another, right? That we're not going to forgive, or that we're going to, maybe be mean back or hurt back in some way, with strike back in some way. Or sometimes we do that to ourselves, right? We feel guilty for something that we did or said, and so we punish ourselves instead of working with this idea of forgiveness. So it always comes down to those two choices. It's really quite simple. And if we choose the path of forgiveness, it may be a process. It may not just be a one-time, easy, I forgive you, or I forgive myself. The world's traditions, the wisdom of the world's religious traditions and philosophical traditions has forgiveness as one of its basic tenets, no matter where you look. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal with the intention to throw it at someone else, and guess who gets burned instead? Yeah. And Jesus, of course, said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Forgiving that really collective ignorance, right? So when you look around the world and you think, what a mess. This is crazy. Why are we doing this to one another? You can come back around to that. Spirit, forgive them. Forgive us. We know not what we do. I've carried that prayer into the wilderness with me before and given it to the earth. Forgive us. In this beauty, in this gift, we know not what we do. Confucius said, to be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. Yeah, nice pithy piece of wisdom there, huh? And there's an Arabic parable that says, write the bad things that happen to you in sand, and write the good things that happen to you on a piece of marble. Isn't that nice? Yeah, just a few pieces of the wisdom around the world. So what is it about forgiveness? So we get it, right? We all get it. This is a good idea. Seems like a good idea. We're on the spiritual path. Seems like we want to be forgiving people. And I think we do want to. And there are times when it just seems like it's really hard for us. And what is that? Well, part of it, I think, is that we think if we forgive someone else or ourselves, that it somehow lets them off the hook. It doesn't hold them accountable. Yet, guess what? We don't have to police the universe. because there are spiritual laws that rule this universe that take care of all that. There are societal laws that take care of accountability. There are family rules and organizational rules and policies and group agreements that we make. So we don't have to worry about that. That's not ours to do in the process of forgiveness. Our process is to look inside and say, is there something that is blocking my good, that is blocking my light from fully expressing, that is blocking my love from flowing, and all the good that comes with that, my health and my wealth? Is there anything to forgive? Is there anything to let go? And sometimes it isn't until we get very quiet, like we did in the meditation, and somebody's face arises that we're surprised. I'd suggest to you a very simple practice that we can do, that at the end of your day, a time, I think a really nice time to do it is just as you're lying down to go to bed, just closing your eyes and dropping into your heart and asking that very same question. Did I leave anyone outside of my heart today? And sometimes we'll be surprised. It's something that we forgot, some little thing that happened. It seemed little in the morning, maybe with a family member, or something at work, or when we were at the store, some pretty harsh judgment maybe that we thought of someone or ourselves. We can include ourselves in that. And so then just being with that for a moment and blessing and recognizing and seeing that other being as just as divine, with the same kinds of needs and feelings and desires as you have. And just letting go. I really like to talk about, the Buddhist idea of unskillful behavior. That's all. Just there's times when we are unskilled in our behavior or unskilled in our words. It's okay, right? When we say it that way, it sort of makes sense to us, right? Oh, right, and I'm building my skills. And so that's a part of what kind of lets us let go of that. So sometimes we run into financial debt, and we can actually see the connection with forgiveness. When I have an ebb in my finances, the first place I look is my checkbook or other ways of giving to make sure that I'm on track with my belief and my practice of giving 10% of my income to where I'm spiritually fed. And if I'm not on track with that, I get myself caught up. And the other place I look is dropping into my heart and seeing, is there something or someone I have not forgiven? Is there a forgiveness process that needs to be done here? And those two practices, I find, release the ebb and help me regain the energy again to let that movement flow with ease and with grace and with abundance. That's why forgiveness is such a key pillar to our prosperity. So some of you might know about radical forgiveness. I think a lot of people in this congregation particularly may know, because Reverend Sheila, your former associate minister, was really well versed in this. She was a facilitator, and one of the few in the world actually that's facilitating radical forgiveness now. Anybody familiar with it? Colin Tipping's work? A lot of you. Oh, great. Well, for many of you, this is going to be a short review, and for some of you, it's going to be new information. But I'd like to share with you the 5 steps of radical forgiveness, because I find it to be a really helpful process. And if you really like this and you want to work through it in a deliberate way, there are worksheets available at colintipping.com. Just go to Radical Forgiveness Worksheet. So the 5 steps are this. It starts with telling your story. And ideally, you want to find somebody who can hold a compassionate space for you and just listen to your story. Again, this is one where you can tell all the gory details, Don't worry about interpretation and judgment. You just tell the story exactly as it is. Or if you don't want to tell someone else, or you don't have somebody else who you think can hold that kind of space for you, you can write it down. Just write out the story. Just tell the story. And as you're telling the story, it's likely that you're going to have some feelings come up. Or maybe as you finish the story, you're going to have some feeling. If you're really tuning in, there's going to be some feelings present. Step 2 is to feel your feelings. That seems like a really obvious one, but this one is a real big hurdle for a lot of us on the spiritual path, because we tend to do that spiritual bypass thing that says, oh yeah, I got this down. And the spiritual thing is to just forgive. So I just forgive. I remember a man in my former congregation who I adored, and he was telling me a story one day, and he said, oh yeah, I forgave that a long time ago, something that happened to him in 8th grade. And I could just hear the seething anger and sadness and the pain underneath that statement. And I said, Randy, did you really forgive it? I think, there might be something to look at there. And as we sat together in just silence and just holding the space, the tears began to come. And the recognition that there is a block in the way to my goodness. And by just speaking spiritual platitudes, we're not doing anybody a service. So the path is real, The spiritual path is real. And I mean like getting real, like authentic real. Being honest, really honest about where we are and allowing ourselves to move through that with grace and ease. And we do when we allow ourselves to feel. The third step is one that I'm going to call upon a character from a television show to help me with that you might recognize. That's right. Anybody recognize? I don't have the detective hat on. Just the facts. You got it. Oh, wow. Here's some good radical forgiveness students in here. So the television show Dragnet, Sergeant Friday would say, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. And that's step 3. It's collapsing the story. So now we go back to our first step of telling the story, and now we retell it just the facts. You know what's amazing about this? That story gets really short. And we recognize how much we author our own stories, how much interpretation is in there. And when we collapse it to just the facts, the energy is like deflating the air out of a balloon. The energy goes, and we can look at it just at what happened. The next step then is to take that collapsed story and reframe the whole story. So somebody once wisely said that life is 5% of what happens to you and 95% what you make of it. And the reframing process allows us to own the soul story, the prosperous story, the story that allows us to triumph and break through. And that's the story that we're rewriting, that we're reframing. And so when we rewrite that and retell that story, the 5th step is to integrate our new story. And it's a great way now to bring in the body to the mind-spirit connection and to allow ourselves to walk that story or move that story, maybe through martial arts or yoga, or you can swim it or walk it, but to allow that story to become a new cellular memory. You've replaced that old memory, that old tape that wasn't serving you, and that block that you were living with, and you've opened up the way. And so as you move it, as you integrate it in this way, it will become a living, breathing part of you, this new story, this breakthrough story. So one of the stories of integration that I really like is Sebastian Mariquin's story. It really, in his story, it ended up being a documentary. So his story became a recorded story, and that was his integrated, reframed story. He was the son of Pablo Escobar, who basically controlled the entire 80% of the global cocaine market throughout the 80s mostly. In 1993, Pablo was killed by Colombian police in a crossfire shootout. And his son Sebastian at first retaliated, actually. First he chose choice number 2. And then he quickly realized that that was not the path for him or for all those around him. And he went with number 1, forgiveness. And the way that he went about this, because at that time he was exiled into Argentina, is that he wrote letters to his father's enemies' children. And he reached out and he said that he forgave them, and he wanted to tell them a little bit about what his experience was. and he had hoped that they would meet with him. Well, the documentary filmmaker, Nicholas Entel, got wind of this, and he said, I would like to document this process, because this was huge for Colombia. I mean, everybody knew Pablo Escobar. Everybody knew about this violent retaliation cycle that was happening around drugs and violence and else, whatever else was thrown into the mix. An idea of scarcity, really, right? That's what it usually comes down to. When there's violence, there's a belief that there's not enough, or some other belief, one of the other scarcity myths, more is better, something like that. Scrambling for what we think is not enough. And so in the story then, Sebastian went and forged these new relationships and went through the process. And one of the things he said about it in the end of this documentary process was that his greatest hope and now conviction that peace was possible was that arch enemies, next generation sons, could become best friends. And he became friends with those men that he had reached out to, the sons of his father's enemies. And the other important thing about his story and all of our forgiveness stories is that it's not just about us, or even us and another person, because the energy that gets freed is for everyone to enjoy. So it's families, and it's organizations, and it's cities, and it's the world that gets to live in a little bit more of that love and that compassion and that forgiveness and that prosperous, abundant energy, because we've done that work, because we've had the courage to do it. Robert Holden, the psychologist, has a really good definition of forgiveness. He says that true forgiveness is a willingness to change your mind and to believe, number one, that we are whole, and number two, that nobody and nothing can take away your wholeness. I mean, that's standing in principle, right? That definition is all about understanding divinity. Because it says I'm already whole, and so no one and nothing can take away my wholeness. And if I am to forgive, then I must be willing simply to change. Beautiful song, ready for the change, to change my mind and to let everything else, the good, come with it. So I have one final story that I'd like to share with you. And I don't think I've ever heard a story like this around forgiveness that's touched me as much, and I hope it does you too. I want to invite the musicians up to help me share this story with you. To begin to give you a little bit of background, this is a story from South Africa during the Truth and Reconciliation Committee council gatherings that happened at post-apartheid. They may still happen, but I know early in the day there were a lot of these. And this is a story of an elderly black woman. I've never been able to find her name associated with the story, but it's a true story. And in the courtroom that day with the committee, she is facing the man who perpetrated crimes against her family. His name is Officer Vonderbrock. And what Officer Vonderbrock and the rest of his folks did was they came to her home when her son was 18, and they shot him at point blank range. And then they partied while they burned his body. Years later, they came back for her husband. And after they took him, I think it was about 8 years later, they came back about midnight and picked her up and brought her to the site where his body was bound on an open fire. And they poured gasoline on him and started the fire and made her watch because of the color of their skin. Unfathomable. And just before her husband died, he looked at her and he said, "Forgive them." And she carried that in her heart. And now on this day, she's facing this officer and able to say what she would like. She says, "I want 3 things. First of all, I want Officer Vonderbroek to drive me to the place where they burned my husband's body so that I may gather up some of the dust there and give him a proper burial. Number two, I want him to know that he took away the only family I have. And so I would like for him twice a month, because I still have so much love to give, to come visit me in the ghetto so that I may be a mother to him. This is a true story. Gets me every time. And finally, she said, I want him to know that God forgives him, and I do too. And would somebody please help me across the courtroom so that he may really know that my forgiveness is real and that I may embrace him. And so as she's being led across the courtroom, Officer Vonderbroek faints, and somebody begins to sing this old familiar song that we're about to hear, and the entire courtroom joins in. I think we've just touched a little bit of how it might have felt in that courtroom that day. And now let's hear what it sounded like.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to love, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Everybody. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andoni. Our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide personal prayer support. So if you have a celebration in your heart or some other help that you'd like with forgiveness, for example, please see our prayer chaplains with the lavender stoles on. And now it is our time for our prosperity celebration. So I invite you to open your hearts to the consciousness of giving as we align with the law of circulation. As we give, so we receive. As we forgive, give for, so we receive. So much good. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance, as we know, is our true nature. And there are a variety of ways to share your financial gifts with us today. For credit card donations, you may use PushPay on your smartphone or take an envelope and a clipboard in the seat pocket in front of you. Those of you at home can use PushPay or click on the donate button on the Watch Live page. And I have not perfected using the binder yet. I invite you to take your tithe or your offering in your hand now and let us bless these together. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Amen.
Okay, I think we've climbed to a little bit of a higher ground today, so let's celebrate it. People keep on learning. Soldiers keep on warring. World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Powers keep on lying, while your people keep on dying. World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh, I'm so darn glad he let me try it again. My last time on earth I lived a whole world of sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Teachers keep on teaching. Reverend Kristen keep on preaching. Keep, 'cause it won't be too long. Lovers keep on loving. Believing. Sleepers, just stop sleeping, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh yeah. So darn glad he let me try it again, 'cause my last time on earth I lived a whole world of sin. So glad that I know more than I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Don't let nobody bring you down till I reach my highest ground. Let God show you higher ground. Let God show you higher ground. Thank you. A hand for the band. Nice.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm on higher ground right now. May we have the ushers forward, please, with the gifts? Thank you. All right, so with this wonderful prosperity and these symbols that are held here, I want to encourage you to just take a moment and if you're willing, make a commitment right now to forgive whatever needs to be forgiven. Let it go. Finally, once and for all, let it go. And if you're having trouble, think about that woman in the courtroom and what she was able to forgive. You too will do these things and greater things. Let's bless these offerings together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, unceasing flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. Thank you. Let's sing our children in.
Marching in the light of God, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching in the light of God.
All right. Thank you, children and teachers. And I want to have Lonnie share a little bit, because we had such a big day yesterday that was all about a prosperity practice of circulation. And I know Lonnie has a little to share about that, because she has a wonderful vision of what that's about.
So we want to thank all of you who donated your beautiful items that bless the Children's Church for lots of wealth and prosperity, and for the gifts that you gave to the to the community that blessed them and all their blessings that they received. And I want to thank our whole team that did the work for 2 whole days. Yay! And I want to thank Jeff, who's out there. If it wasn't for all of these beautiful people that do so much work to make it possible to raise money and to bless the community with giving away the items, and people really receiving the generosity of love and support in their communities. So we are so grateful and so blessed for all of your love and blessings.
It was a very hot day, and believe me, these guys worked super hard, lots of physical labor. So I see the suntans. We really appreciate all of you, and I really appreciate too, Lonnie, that you keep reminding us and framing it. And no matter when, at the end of that very long hot day, I was talking to her, and she was still talking pure service. Service to the community. What a blessing it is to give to the community. What a blessing it is to share with the community how we do things here in love. So thank you. Yeah. Let's bless our children and teachers. Together. Youth and teachers, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. And let's close out our service with a prayer of protection and the peace song. You may want to join hands with the people next to you.
I may want to. I don't know. Really want to hold your hand? I have to let go when they sing.
Together.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And our peace song.
Let
are the light and the love and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine and have fun.